When I say hospitality, what comes to mind? Perfectly decorated tables, Instagram worthy dinner parties, or Pinterest fueled festivities for a few friends? The Bible's vision for hospitality is so much richer, so much more beautiful, so much more compelling, because it comes from the very heart of God. Hospitality is creating space for strangers to become friends, and friends to become family. In the beginning of the true story, we see God creating space for humans to flourish in His presence. It was only when the humans rejected the hospitality and provision of God that people became objects of cynicism rather than welcomed co-laborers in kingdom work. Throughout the Old Testament, the act we call promise, God calls His people to continually keep an eye on the stranger, welcoming in the marginalized, the outcast, the different, so that all the nations would see how good it is to live under God's reign with a place at His table. When Jesus was walking this earth, He regularly created space for people to experience grace, for people to flourish once again, to be welcomed to the table. And He taught His disciples to welcome strangers in the name of Jesus, who welcomes us to His table. Then the church was sent out in the power of the Spirit, not just to preach to the masses, but to hold meals in their homes, where the regular focal point was the grace that had been received because of Jesus. Grace and welcome was experienced by those who didn't think they'd ever be welcomed in. Henry Nouwen says it like this: hospitality isn't to change people, but to create space for change to take place. The final act of the story is symbolized not just by a new heavens and earth or a city coming out of the sky, but also a massive meal with people from every tribe and tongue gathered at God's table, celebrating God's grace at God's invitation. What a beautiful picture. So what do we see from the story? Hospitality is the heartbeat of your missio community. It is only as we receive the welcome to God's table that we will open up our homes and our lives to one another and our neighbors. Here are 3 important things we want our missio communities to see. 1. Hospitality reminds us of our place at God's table. We were strangers, exiled, apart from God, His home and His table. Yet God has graciously invited each of us home to a place of honor and welcome. It's as we extend that invitation to others that we are able to revisit our place as beloved children at the table of our Father. 2. Hospitality builds community. When we choose to open our lives and share space, time, and resources, welcoming others in, it builds shared stories. These stories are the fabric of our shared life. 3. Hospitality is essential, not optional, for Christian mission. Your neighbors need to not just hear the good news of the gospel story, they need to see it lived out. They need to experience it. When you welcome them into your home, to your table, and into your lives, they get an experience of the gospel that our words alone could never imprint onto their souls. What do you think it looks like for your community to be a people of hospitality? Imagine how refreshing and healing a place of rest and flourishing would be to your neighbors.